Some stories leave scars. Others leave something far worse. Something that follows you home, waits in the dark, and whispers your name when no one else is around. This is one of those stories. What starts as a routine medical case spirals into a waking nightmare, one that no amount of training can prepare you for. Tonight, we step into the shoes of a young doctor who thought he was treating a patient. But instead, he may have invited something far more sinister into his life. Keep your lights on for this one. You've been warned. Before we begin, where are you listening from? Tell me in the comments. I'm a student doctor. My first patient is the reason I might die tonight. I'm a med student. I was just meant to observe, maybe assist. Nothing in our textbooks or training prepares you for this. I'm writing this from my locked bedroom as something moves around my house like an animal, only quieter, more intentional. Please, someone tell me what to do. I don't know how long the door will hold. It started 3 weeks ago. I had only just begun my first rotation, internal medicine. I was shadowing my supervising doctor at St. Thomas's. He was sharp, old school, always wore a bow tie, and never seemed rattled. I looked up to him, still do. The man didn't blink during a code blue, but he'd always said, "It's the quiet ones you watch closely, not the screamers. The ones who smile when they shouldn't." I didn't get it at the time. My first solo case, just a basic consult, but my supervising doctor let me take the lead. Was a man listed as patient 46B, dull, mid-30s, slight build, no emergency, no urgent flags, just unexplained bruising. He sat calmly in the consult room. No obvious injuries. Pale Dutch, thin lips, brown hair that hung limp, like it had given up. But his eyes, that was the first thing. They were gray, not blue-gray or hazel-gray, just gray, unsettlingly blank, like a fogged-over mirror. He spoke slowly, politely, his voice low and toneless. Said the bruises started appearing 3 months ago. Inner thighs, upper arms, spine, places you'd expect with abuse or a bleeding disorder. I examined him. And yes, there were bruises, but they were wrong. The edges weren't purple or yellowing like healing ones. They were pitch black with a red core, as if something inside was trying to get out. I remember asking if he was on any blood thinners. He said no. I asked about substance use, alcohol, anticoagulants. Never touched a drop. He replied with a smile that felt like someone else's mouth wearing his face. I was unsettled, but I had to write something down, so I chalked it up as possible immune thrombocytopenia, gave him a mild corticosteroid prescription, and told him to return in a week. "We'll run more tests," I said. Probably nothing to worry about. I regret those words. When he returned a week later, things escalated. He looked thinner, same dark clothes, same blank expression, but there were more bruises. His neck now, around his jawline, and several across his scalp like blotches of ink. He didn't sit this time. He stood in the corner of the consult room, facing the wall, like he was in time out. "Lucas?" I asked. That was the only name he'd given. "You okay?" "I can hear them now," he whispered. "In the walls. They want out, but they like you." "Dan." I glanced at the mirror, wondering if this was some elaborate psych evil trick, but it was just me, alone, with him. He finally turned. His pupils were dilated, almost consuming the irises, and there was blood under his fingernails. "I don't scratch," he said, as if reading my mind. "They move around inside me. I'm not doing it." I referred him to our liaison, psychiatrist. I also requested a follow-up with internal. Something didn't add up. Physically or mentally. "We'll get you seen again soon," I told him. "Just hang in there, okay?" He nodded. "You should lock your doors more, especially after dark. You're warm. They'd like to wear you." The poor girl. The next day, I visited the psychiatrist's office to check in on the referral. The secretary looked up, confused at first. Then her expression shifted, something quieter, tinged with sadness. "He hasn't come in. You haven't heard. Heard what?" She hesitated. "He was found dead last night, bludgeoned, in his office. Police think it happened after hours. We're closed today for..." I was already walking away, ears buzzing. I didn't want to believe it was connected. Couldn't be. But I felt it in my gut. I called the station, asked to speak with the detective in charge. I got bounced around until someone finally took me semi-seriously. "Yes," the voice on the other end said. "We're looking for a patient, mid-30s, gave the name Lucas. Used a fake address on the intake form. No ID. We're advising all staff at St. Thomas's to stay alert and avoid contact." The detective lowered his voice. "We found things in Dr. P.'s office. Blood in places it shouldn't be. Symbols carved into the carpet beneath his chair. And something under his fingernails. Not human. The woman. Oh, that was 12 hours ago. I've been trying to act normal since. I finished my shift early. Told the nurse I had a migraine. Took the tram home, looking over my shoulder the whole time. And now, this. I came home, and the house was dark. I live alone, in a single-level terrace. Usually, it feels cozy. Not tonight. I locked the door, flicked the hallway light on. He was there. Not standing, on the ceiling, pressed against it like a spider, barefoot. Clothes torn, skin too pale, almost translucent now. The bruises had overtaken his limbs, crawling up his face in broken, inky veins. But it was his expression that paralyzed me. A smile so wide it stretched unnaturally, as if his cheeks were tearing from the force of it. His eyes, they were solid black now, not just the irises, all of them, like two obsidian marbles reflecting my horror back at me. He didn't speak. He just moved. Not like a person. His limbs twisted at angles no joint should allow. Slow and jerky like a puppet handled by someone who's never seen one before. He crept across the ceiling, toward me. I wanted to scream, but couldn't. My throat locked up. I stumbled backward, hands shaking, keys falling to the floor. He dropped. No sound. Just thud. Right in front of the door, blocking it. Standing there now, head tilted, arms hanging limp, still smiling. I ran, bolted up the stairs, locked myself in the bedroom. I've barricaded it with a chair and a shelf. I don't know if it'll matter. He hasn't spoken once, but he's knocking now. Not on the door, on the walls. Knock. Whoa. Gog. Knock. Knock. Then silence. Then knocking from the other side of the room. I swear to God I heard him giggling. I called the police. They said I'd dispatch someone, but there's been a surge of emergencies. Said it'll take 30 minutes minimum. I tried to explain that a patient might have killed a psychiatrist and is now in my house. They said, try to stay calm, sir. Maybe step outside. I can't. He's everywhere. The lights keep flickering. My phone battery's at 9%. I can hear him moving in the ceiling above me now. Sometimes dragging something. Sometimes whispering my name over and over. Doc. Tor. There's a scratching coming from inside the closet. I didn't check it. I didn't think to. Oh, wait. Oh, God. The closet door just creaked open. It's pitch black in there, but I can see something moving. Long limb. That smile. He was never downstairs. He's been in here the whole time. Please, someone tell me what to do. I'm posting this in case I don't make it. The cops are 20 minutes away now. My bedroom door just creaked. Update. Noises have stopped. No knocking. No whispering. Just silence. I think he's waiting. If you read this, please share it. And if a patient with gray eyes, blood under his nails, and bruises that don't heal ever walks into your clinic, run. Dot. Would you hear it? The knocking inside your walls? Or would you only notice once it's too late?